Good evening, friends, and welcome. My name's Gerald. Once again, we're going to read from the Psalms tonight. And as always, I just pray that it's a blessing to you. I pray that you're encouraged by it. And I pray that God speaks to all of us. And so, with that, we'll dive into Psalm 14. Psalm 14, David says, or titled, The Fool Says There is No God. Beginning in verse 1, the fool says in his heart, There is no God. They are corrupt. They do abominable deeds. There is none who does good. The Lord looks down from heaven on the children of man to see if there are any who understand, who seek after God. They have all turned aside. Together they have become corrupt. There is none who does good, not even one. Have they no knowledge, all the evildoers who eat up my people as they eat bread and do not call upon the Lord? There they are in great terror, for God is with the generation of the righteous. You would shame the plans of the poor, but the Lord is his refuge. Oh, that salvation for Israel would come out of Zion. When the Lord restores the fortunes of his people, let Jacob rejoice, let Israel be glad. So again, we have David, and he's taking kind of stock over all the people that surround him. And he's noticing, their deeds. And he knows that they're non-believers. But he notices that they're not doing good, but doing evil. And so he says, he's calling them fools. He says, the fool says in his heart, there is no God. And being a person of faith, looking back on my own life, I can tell you I was a fool before I knew God. I can tell you there was nothing good in me before I knew God, before I knew Christ. It says, there is none who does good, not even one. We can a lot of times kind of look at our lives and compare them to someone else. And we can say, well, I'm a pretty good person. I don't do any wrong. I haven't hurt anyone. But yet here we have it, that God's word says there's none who does good. And then later on in Romans 3, Paul tells us that all have sinned. All have fallen short from the glory of God. And that's me. That's you. That's all of us. I know in my own heart, even though I've got Christ now, I'm not always a good person. I'm not sinless. But I know that I've got God's grace. I know that I've got God's righteousness given to me through Jesus Christ. And I pray the same for you. You see, I was a fool once, living for myself, chasing my own dreams. But I've seen what God can do in my own heart. And I'm thankful that he has turned me from that sinner's way, from that life of chasing temporal things to really experiencing God's joy now and his grace and his mercy. And I tell you, I don't want to be a fool again. And I pray for you. I pray that if you're hearing this and if you don't know Jesus already, if you haven't experienced that joy, and maybe you're still being a fool, not wanting to turn to God yet, because you're chasing those temporal things, then friends, I just pray that you'd open up your heart, listen to God's word, and accept his grace, accept his mercy, accept his righteousness, because there was none good, not me either, not even now, but I'm covered because he was righteous. He was perfect. He was sinless. And he died in my place and then rose again, and I'm covered by his blood. And so I pray the same for you, that you would offer up your heart, your life to Jesus as well. Friends, I pray as always that this is a blessing to you and that it's encouragement. And I pray that you know the love of Christ for yourself. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you again tomorrow.